everyone, and welcome back to Parsha Ponderings. I'm Rabbi Elizabeth Bonnie Cohen, and I'm here with my colleagues. Welcome, Rabbi David Starr and rabbinic intern Talia Laster.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, rabbis.
Well, we're in Parshat Shemot this week. We've just entered the book of Exodus, and we begin the most formative story in kind of Jewish consciousness in the formation of the Jewish people. And what I'm so struck by this week is the central role that women play, in particular in the beginning of this narrative. We see women featured in a way that we really don't see in other parts of the Torah. We see all of these central roles of women, and I'm curious to hear from you all what you think about this, how you think that's significant, if you think that's significant, and how you relate to this part of the formation of the Jewish people.
I both really appreciate the role that these women play in really revolutionary actions against the state and against the oppression of Pharaoh. And I feel disappointed a little bit in the text for not naming more of the women. We have many names for young women. We have Bat Levi is Yocheved, and we have the sister of Moshe, and we have Amma, and we have Na'ara, and we have Bat Paro, and we just continually do not have their names. And then even more so, we have the Midrash and Rashi saying that the heroic Miyaldot Ha'ivriot, the Hebrew midwives, which might be Egyptian women serving the Hebrews, or might be Hebrew women serving Hebrew women. Rashi considers those to be Yocheved and Miriam, even though we very explicitly have their names. And so I feel confused about why we have such a ambiguous mass of feminine energy.
I mean, obviously, the meta story of the entire book, and not just this Parasha, is the creation of Israel, creation of a nation, and what the story of that nation is going to be, its history, its destiny. And in that sense, it's a profoundly political as well as spiritual book. And obviously, the dominant relationship is going to be Israel, on the one hand, with Egypt, and above all, Israel and God on the other, which will be, very dramatic and very meaningful. And women are, by definition, included in that political community, and that they're part of the origin story, as Elizabeth was saying a second ago, on the one hand. But on the other hand, they're not equal partners in that political community that's being formed, in that spiritual community that's being formed. So I think it's a very mixed message about what exactly the content of Israel's daily life is going to be in terms of gender. So I think that needs to be acknowledged.
What kind of takes place following, right, is all this action, and it's all very male-centered action. But that the catalyst for it, or that with the origin of it, is all of these heroic women, like Talia was saying, that there are all of these heroic women. Maybe some of them are not Israelites, maybe others are, and they're making choices that are very political choices within their sphere of influence to be able to set up the trajectory that we all then get to benefit from. And I find it so striking that both they are the reason that we even have any of the story, any of the action that will follow in the first place. And yet they are ultimately so buried, either by the rabbinic interpretation or collapsing of who they are, or by our tradition in general, privileging the male experience going forward, not only in our text, but in Jewish tradition as it's been lived out. I'll just bless us with a good week and a Shabbat Shalom, and may we all be inspired by these women, by the actions of these women, by the courage of these women to find our openings for our own action in this world, that we can make a difference and that we can set out the trajectory of where the Jewish people and the whole arc of the world goes towards. With that, we'll wish you a Shabbat Shalom. It's been so wonderful, as always, to get to talk with both of you this morning.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom.